to Cheap Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie, and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And you'll have to forgive us if we run over. It's totally not 2 minutes. But I think that you may get what you came for in terms of little knowledge nuggets. Because today we are continuing our series talking about the principles of design. This was part of a viewer request about expanding on this discussion that we kind of touched on. So we are hitting all the cylinders, baby. We're talking about each one of the principles of design individually. And today we're talking about balance, okay? This is the one we kind of talking about a little bit more last time. We're talking about how balance isn't the same as having everything be exactly symmetrical. So balance can be symmetrical or it can be asymmetrical, okay? And I wanted to show you another abstract piece. Here again, I don't want you focusing on subject. I want you to focus your attention. Look at me. Got it? Look at me. We're going to be talking about how balance can be asymmetrical or symmetrical just by visual elements. Your subject can be symmetrical or asymmetrical, but what we're really trying to focus on here is just visual elements. So we have our background wash. Let's talk about that. So we have this background of color happening. There's a lot of visual activity in there because you can totally see every bit of the brushwork and stuff. We are looking at this wash, and even though it's this kind of amorphous blob shape, what is it? It is symmetrical. It is pretty much right down the center. We have one side that's kind of teal and one side that's kind of cobalt. And so this part, we have a perfect symmetry in terms of how this wash is in this visual space, okay? But then at the same time, we have an asymmetrical balance that's happening at the same time on top of this. So we look at this letter patterning, which is basically just a visual pattern, because this is nonsensical. This is there's no context here. It's just a visual repetition of letters, right? This doesn't say anything. But we have the concentration of activity outside of the center. Center would be here, but it starts to dissipate at that point, where the visual rhythm and all the intensity is actually focused up higher out of the center. Okay, so we have an area of asymmetry here. Well, I can tell you that ain't good enough for me, because I was just like, well, that's cool and all, it's fine, but I have to throw some little sarcasm in there in my work, So what I did was I actually put a part down here in this kind of calmer space that actually has some context, that actually says something, and so in that way we have two areas of asymmetry happening at the same time, which you got these two, one's up here and one's down here. What have we done? Balance. We balanced it, folks. And so right down here it says sometimes, well, this one time, and so we actually have kind of a little bit of balance in that we have something that's non-contextual with something that's contextual. So we have some concept stuff going on within these visual elements. So whenever you're looking at balance, you don't have to think of it as being like one or the other. We have used a couple of concepts of balance within this same somewhat simple kind of silly piece. I feel like it's really successful when we're talking about the area of balance and how we're talking about symmetry, asymmetry, and contrasting elements, because we have achieved some balance here, sweeties. So next time that you're setting out to create, take a look at balance within your piece and make sure that it makes sense to you, because then it'll translate onto the viewer. So we hope that you enjoy.